FNAF is full of jump scares. It's kind of what the game relies on. Without jump scares, the series is just an incredibly messed up story about a psychopathic man trying to bring his son back from death by searching for the answers to life through ending it. However, if one person had the most jump scares, it would actually be good old Willie A, the purple guy, William Afton, the main killer of the series and the man making me tear my hair out because he makes everything too complicated. But which out of his various jump scares is the worst? That's what we're exploring today. Let's do it. In at 10, FNAF 3 SPRINGTRAP. It's pretty universally known that FNAF 3 is one of the easier FNAF games. With only one animatronic that can actually kill you, you can juggle him between a couple rooms for basically the whole night. You're able to survive fairly easily. But while some consider this game scary, overall it's one of the least scary of all, and that's thanks to SPRINGTRAP. SPRINGTRAP's jump scare in this game is actually the worst jump scare in the series, having the only real scare factor being the sound that plays along with it. But as for the actual model, he just kinda moves towards you a little bit, and that's it. There was also apparently an interview where Scott said that he was going to end the series after game 3, but the community's disappointment with the SPRINGTRAP jump scare caused him to make the 4th game with the Nightmare animatronics. I'm unable to find that interview, but that also makes sense to me. Like, the Nightmare animatronics were sort of overcorrecting for the lack of scares in FNAF 3, since you could also easily predict the phantom jump scares. So, I can see it. And at 9, Sister Location. While William wasn't really in Sister Location as one of the enemies, because you know, all those fused into Ennard, he was still in it during the final cutscene, where Michael is giving his final speech, saying, "Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all here. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now, but something is wrong with me. I should be dead, but I'm not. I've been living in the shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you." After that final line, SPRINGTRAP jumps out from behind the ruins of Fazbear's Fright, which burnt down at the end of FNAF 3. This is less of a jump scare, more of a way to show that SPRINGTRAP and by proxy William are still alive. However, it's still scarier than the normal SPRINGTRAP jump scare if you weren't ready for it or knew that it was coming. In at 8, SCRAPTRAP. See, this one is a bit of a weird one because, well, like, you can decide if it's possible or not. Since you don't really have to salvage an animatronic, you can just leave it for scrap and not keep it inside the building, thus allowing yourself not to have to stress over a psychotic killer rabbit, which is my personal recommendation. However, if you make the fool's decision and trap SCRAPTRAP, you have the possibility of being jump scared, which usually would only happen when you're not focused on protecting yourself. So, mostly when you're worried about your pizzeria or completing the tasks you need to do in order to leave and to complete the day. But this one is more unexpected, and SCRAPTRAP is certainly freakier than SPRINGTRAP is. And this jump scare is actually more like a jump scare than the SPRINGTRAP one, so needless to say, it deserves to be higher. Well, higher than those. However, there are scarier jump scares despite this. And at 7, VR SPRINGTRAP. FNAF VR may be one of the more recent games in the series, but it certainly is one of the freakiest. VR horror is such an experience, okay? But combine that with the story of Five Nights at Freddy's and you get one hell of a game. And while SPRINGTRAP's jump scare in normal FNAF 3 may not be scary, having to deal with this guy up close and personal and literally towering above you will have you changing your attitude and your pants on a regular basis. Since this time, when jump scaring you, he pops up from the bottom of your screen and shaking his face at you as much as humanly possible before he actually causes you to lose the game. Speaking of which, I lost the game. I personally believe that all the jump scares are scarier in FNAF VR, not to mention how everything is scarier when it's towering over you, because in that case it appears to have more power and be more powerful, and let's be honest, SPRINGTRAP's design kinda needs that to be scary. I don't know, I don't think that the actual character is scary, but his story is certainly scary, but not really him. It's confusing. And at 6, GLAMROCK FREDDY. During Security Breach's final boss fight, Freddy is hacked by SPRINGTRAP and will stand in the center of the room as a hazard. If SPRINGTRAP ends up successfully hacking him, he will kill Gregory, either by chasing him down or by pulling Gregory out of his stomach if the player had entered beforehand. Gregory can still lure Freddy away by calling him over to different spots though. And since his eyes turn purple after William possesses him or hacks him or whatever, okay, possessed GLAMROCK Freddy is a version of Afton, so it's good enough for me. This is mostly scary because from what I've seen, people are often confused as to why Freddy is suddenly running at them and don't know enough about the series to hide from anything purple. So they get jump scared, flip out, and then realize that Afton got to him. So yeah, the fact that we can trust Freddy this whole game is kind of what makes this jump scare so brutal, but it's still not the worst one out there. Halfway through in at number 5, Vanny. Vanny is a follower of the digital virus GLAMROCK, a form of the serial killer William Afton, and appears as the main antagonist of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. It's revealed in the Princess Quest minigames that she was also the main protagonist of FNAF Help Wanted, where she was first corrupted by the sentient code being thing. So technically, since Vanny is the part of Vanessa that is controlled by William, this makes her jump scare a William Afton jump scare. Vanny is shown to have a sadistic personality hidden behind a childlike flamboyance. This is shown through her casually and gleefully skipping after Gregory as he runs from her before running with arms outstretched if she gets too close. She also happily orders the staff bots to disassemble GLAMROCK Freddy in the phaser blast ending, and constantly laughs as she's going to kill Gregory. If she ever does catch Gregory though, which can happen unexpectedly at times, especially at certain points throughout the story, it can give you quite the fright. It's better than her trailer jump scare, since in that first trailer we couldn't really see anything, but not the scariest thing in the world. Mostly because you can see it coming for the most part, but there are a good few moments with her. Like when timers run out and stuff and she jump scares you. Those are good. But like the CRT effect kind of lets you know when she's coming. In at 4, Desk Scrap Trap. Salvaging is a major method first used in FNAF Pizzeria Simulator. It is an optional section that occurs on each of the 4 nights starting on Monday after the management phase. As Henry says during each salvage, each animatronic was found in the back alley. After he explains what options are open to the player, they can either proceed with the salvage or throw it back into the alley. If the player decides to salvage the animatronic, the salvaging section begins immediately. This process is simple. Henry will play 1 out of 5 audio prompts through the tape, and the player must check on the responses on the form itself based on whether or not the animatronic actually responded to the stimuli, when in reality they're just reacting to you not looking at them. This sequence, should you look away for too long or at the wrong time, will result in a jump scare, but the desk jump scares in my personal opinion are pretty damn freaky, especially SCRAPTRAP's, because like this clearly isn't his first rodeo, but like just man, I don't know what it is about someone coming over a desk to kill me. I just don't like it. Getting close to the end, and at number 3, The Curse. The Curse is an Aztec-themed skin for the SPRINGTRAP animatronic and was released on March 5th in the Ancient Equinox event, and is the 4th skin for SPRINGTRAP in FNAF AR. The Curse is a teal-colored SPRINGTRAP dressed to look like an ancient Aztec warrior, and he has a large feathered crown and a golden chest piece. His hands are colored orange with sharp black claws, and one of them holds like a large golden shield. Finally, he is also decorated on the head with like 2 large feathers, which is kind of weird, but I dig it. This guy looks like he's actually decaying as well, which is certainly a better spin on things since decaying bodies aren't purple, even though the series seems to try and push that idea. Bruises are purple, okay? Decay is more commonly depicted as green, at least in other media. In real life it's not. Much how like SPRINGTRAP's suit in his curse form is dark green. This also could be a subtle reference to the fact that Afton is a curse on these games, being unable to ever get rid of him in any meaningful way, or maybe it's just about GLAMROCK and the Curse of Dreadmode DLC. Who knows? I do. I know. He is a curse on this series and my life and needs to die permanently, okay? Not to mention that just in general, SPRINGTRAP looks creepier in FNAF AR than FNAF 3 or FNAF VR, okay? Check out the wiki and then look at his pictures, okay? The FNAF VR and then FNAF AR. FNAF AR is horrifying. Penultimately, in at number 2, Flaming SPRINGTRAP. Flaming SPRINGTRAP was added during the Sizzling Summer event for FNAF AR and was understandably the final skin to be added in that update. Being SPRINGTRAP's second skin behind Toxic SPRINGTRAP, we weren't quite sure what to expect. But like, have you ever wondered what SPRINGTRAP looked like during the fire in FNAF 3? Or wondered what it was like in my old apartment? This is what it would feel like. This also answers the original question because he is definitely the kind of person to absorb all the flames and then use them to his advantage. Flaming SPRINGTRAP is a coal-colored SPRINGTRAP with dark orange highlights, and he is glowing orange from his endoskeleton since it's so hot, because you know he's flaming. He has flames spouting out of every open area possible, and you know what, honestly, who is ready for the 1000 degree endoskeleton challenge? Cause I am. His hands and feet are on fire the most, and for some reason he has no upper teeth. This is horrifying, okay? Especially if these are supposed to be real animatronics that Fazbear Entertainment is sending to people's homes. And my building thinks that my power block or power bar is a fire hazard. It's so befuddling to me how these are actually supposed to be real animatronics, okay? That's horrific. And the skins are canon, as we see in Fury's Rage, which is surely just one of the Security Breach arcade games. And finally, in at number 1, GARVEY. A psychopathic, cold-blooded killer, he stopped being human long ago. That's how Garvey is described in the extras of Dormitibus, the FNAF fan game from which he hails. Garvey is the penultimate antagonist to Dormitibus. He later went on to get trapped in Spring Bonnie, becoming Springtrap, and then he was burned to a permanent death in the Fazbear Fright's fire. Garvey is a more gory version of Springtrap from FNAF 3. However, it is not William Afton, as this game was released before the name was revealed and even before FNAF 4. Springtrap, but with hardly any exosuit or animatronic casing, whatever you want to call it, and this is him, okay? He crawls on all fours and uses his left hand as a foot and his left foot as a hand, like some demon monkey from hell that Satan didn't sanction the creation of. Like, just look at this thing and tell me that it shouldn't be on this list, okay? If you do, you'll be lying. I don't care if it's a fan game. This is the scariest version of William Afton we have ever gotten. That's all the time we have for today, friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been in Shall Remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.